Hey y'all, this is my impression of my Concours 14, and I'm just gonna go not over the specs, but I'll just, in case you're thinking about getting one, what it's like to own one and how I like the pros and cons. All right, here we go. So by the way, all this bling on here, all these stickers, that's me, so obviously. All right, I'm gonna start with the cons first, because there are a few. I do love Kawasaki. As you can see, the other bike in the background there is my Voyager 2009, and that was the first bike I got. And then, excuse me, Kawasaki's were the first bike I ever got, and you know, I just have always been my favorite Japanese bike. I've owned Harleys, Indians, Triumph. I love Ducati, Sport Touring, a lot of, and then some RT, BMW RTs. So I would say this bike here is, for sport touring, is more of a sport bike than the touring, where other bikes like a Triumph Trophy or a BMW RT is more of the touring, or a BMW K1600, I believe it is. I'll just walk around here. Is more of the touring side, where this bike is more sporty. I think it's the sportiest of them all. Cool. So I love Kawasaki Concours, the older model. I had a 2005 and I loved it. I thought it was a bike for old men, like accountants, to ride to work, mild-mannered accountants to ride to work, put their lunch in the back and the side bags, and until I got on one and got comfortable with one. And they're just great. I just love that bike pound for pound. But when I went to get one of those, I could have, just for like a grand or two more, I could have got this, and I'm like, I should get this, and I do love this. I don't think I'd ever go back to an older Kawasaki now, Concours. This bike, I got it for $4,200. This is a 2011, and it had a couple things wrong with it. Other than cosmetically, it had like a little dent here in the side. And that doesn't bother me. It's been dropped, so you can see the road rash there. But it has 30,000 miles on it, about 34,000, and the gasket was leaky, and then these seals had to be replaced. So I don't know. I'm into it for like maybe $6,000 now, and not quite, maybe 50. So probably, really, I could say you could pick one of these up for $5,500, $6,000, and that's a good bargain, because you're getting such a good bike for no money at all. My gosh, that's nothing. I use it to commute. The longest I've ever ridden on it is 5 hours straight, and I was pretty. So let's talk about the pros and cons. So it's more sport. I use it to commute, half an hour one way, half an hour back, obviously, and I love it, man. This thing gets up and goes. But I did a tour with it for 5 hours on it, and I was wanting to get off it. I was pretty beat up on it, you know. It's a sporty bike. It's not as comfortable. So that's my first con. Or yeah. The other thing I didn't like, these mirrors are okay. They're not really that well adjustable. They're not easy to adjust. They do the just enough to see, but you're looking down a lot. I'm not a big fan of mirrors down here. The RT had some down here, the BMW. You're looking down here, then you got to look up, look down, and I don't like them down there. It's a cool idea, but in the end, I would like to get mirrors that go up on the handlebars or something. And they're just not adjustable. I don't have a good command of the road on those things. I think you're going to want to put these risers on here. Here's some risers I put on, because it is a pretty sporty bike. You're down in it. It buzzes a little bit. There's a lot of vibrating. So I got these on here, which helps. Not a lot of vibrating. It's an inline 4. It's actually quite smooth. I don't know why I said that, but you know, compared to like an RT or something like that, it's a little bit not as smooth. But this thing is a lot quicker and moves, man. Okay, what else do I things? The cons. This is a VStream windshield. Let's turn this baby on. Hold that down for a sec, excuse me. And I'll just raise it up. Oh, no, I just took the K-act off. So it goes, I'm 5'8", so my eyesight is right about here. And so I wish this thing would come a little forward or higher. I should have gotten maybe even bigger one. Let's look at the screen now. I don't have any info on the stats on the screen. I think I just got your basic VStream. But I do like that screen. I just wish it was a little taller. The other cons are, this is a Corbin seat I got, heated. The front is. And they asked me, go, well, you're kind of smaller. You want me to put the backrest here? And I'm like, no, let's get a normal seat. But I wish my butt comes to right about here on it. I got all this room here. So I would love to just be sitting my butt right in there. I can, but then I'm hunched over. But this is an amazing seat. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But the seat, obviously the stock seat was garbage. So I always get a new seat anyhow now. That's my thing with bikes. As you can see, my Kawasaki over there has a nice Corbin seat too, that's a great seat too. Cons, let's see. That's about it. I think this little pocket here, when the bike is on, it opens. It won't open up when it's, I guess that's a safety thing for locking. This gets really hot in here. So I'm afraid to put any kind of electronics in there. It gets super hot in there. It's got obviously I like the fact that it has the heated grips because I use those. And other than that, I do feel I'm on top of the bike a little more. I wish I was a little bit lower, but they can't make the seat any lower because he said there'll be no padding in it. I asked for a lower seat. I am 5 inseam of 32 inches, so I am barely flat-footed on this if I'm lucky. So I would like it to be an inch lower, the bike or the seat. I wish the seat were an inch lower, but they just said they couldn't. So that is one thing I don't like. It's a little bit of a heavy bike, and I'm not quite big enough for it yet. All right. Now, so the guy who had it before me was a bigger dude. And let's look at, they put these touring pegs on. And let's look at what that would look like. I took them off, the first thing, because I like here. So you're down, well, you can see you'd be about down a little bit. And now, obviously not back, but, and this part I would take off because it gets your calf. But it puts you down about like down to here, okay? So then, that was too low for me. If you're a really big guy with big feet, you're gonna need one of these. The other thing is, so I kept putting I like to rest my foot high. I would have to kind of come up to get on the brake and the gears. So I just rest my foot right in this little corner here, and then I wasn't using the rest of the peg there. So I put these stock ones back on. Okay. Just sold these on eBay, by the way, for like 25 bucks. So, cool beans. I got all these stickers on here. I tell people those are my sponsors. Gets everyone, yeah. I put these red reflector stickers on. They actually work pretty well. All right, let's talk about the pros. It's a super fast bike. This bike over here, I just had that Ivan's Flash, which was amazing. Totally recommend that, especially for the heat, if anything. Let's go back over here, sorry. But you can Ivan's this. I don't know why you would, you know, maybe if you work the bike harder, but there's plenty of power. I had it on the highway for that 5-hour trip here in Texas. And I was going way out there. I was alone on the road, on the highway. I was going about 110 sometimes. And the bike didn't care. I felt like I was going 60. I just was like, oh my God, am I actually going 110 miles per hour? I mean, I did it shortly, but not for that long, because I was afraid of getting a ticket. But it wasn't because it was buffeting or shaking or anything. Like, the bike could have done a lot more. All right, one thing, a con, let's look at you have to take this key out to open up these bags. I guess that's okay. But sometimes I don't have nothing valuable in there. Let's just look, I can put a helmet in there if I want to. These are watertight. Sometimes I don't want to take the key out, but there you go. And you need that obviously to get the tank to fill her up. It gets about 37 miles to the gallon, 38 maybe. Okay, the pros, here we go. Totally fat. I know I'm skipping around, sorry. My videos, aren't they the most professional thing you've ever... Well, the pros are, I love Kawasaki's gears, their brakes, their motors, their fit and finish. For a Japanese bike, I will say, because when you get on a Harley and an Indian, the fit and finish is much more than any Japanese bike. But I love they always had really good brake and gear, easy to use, and it was comfortable. Quality made switches. That goes for the Vulcan as well over there. Let's see. I put this. I think you're going to need one of these. This is a little bit hard to mount. Not hard. It's easy to get on and everything, but there's not a lot of area. Let's see how you can see where I put it. There's not a lot of choice in where you put this, but this works great. I just pinch and then drop my GPS in there, my phone actually, what I'm holding in my hand right now. And that holds it like crazy, and it keeps my eyes on the road a little better. Now this part here is sticky, and I think from the heat it's too sticky. It gets on the back of my cell phone. I think it just got overheated. Only thing, but this is a great unit. It's super solid, super adjustable. What a great thing that is. I'm planning on getting a throttle meister here. I'll probably make a video for that for you all if I do that, because it doesn't have cruise control, which is another thing I would like on here, and it doesn't have that. Here I am complaining about the thing, but I do love it. Hey, if I could choose, I'd probably have the RT back, a newer one. I had a bunch of air problems with it, my BMW, just for the comfort. This is not an uncomfortable bike, but the RT is just a little bit more luxurious. And let's look around. So the bags are great. I put this bag on here, this brand. This is just an eBay made in China bag. I don't even know the brand. It probably doesn't even have a brand to it. And it works. I can put a helmet in here. It's a little flimsy, but it was like 50 bucks, and I can put a helmet in here. You'll find a bunch of bag choices on there that are a little bit less expensive, and this is still good quality. It locks up okay, and it's detachable. I don't think anyone ever detaches their bag, do they? Let's see. All right, so hey, so I don't know if you like this red seat. My thing is red and black for now for this bike, I figured. And it kind of goes, because look, you got some red accents there, red accents here. So that's my theme I just chose. And this seat, Corbin, incredible, right? Great, the best seats, man. My thing is, I'd like you to encourage you to, if you're going to get a custom seat and have it made, and go big. I don't want to say or go home, but if you could spend a little bit more money on it, get it heated, because you may end up reselling it. And sometimes I feel when you spend a little more up front, you get a little more in the back end when you have to sell it one day. So you'll probably take this off, sell it on eBay, and or something like that. That's what I plan to do if I ever sell this bike. But this seat is amazing, and I want to encourage you to get a cool color. That's what I want. This is leather. Let's look at it. This is like real leather, and it's just vinyl seats are just so bad. You know, they get so hot, and you stick to them. But I got this red because I'm like, you know what? Why would I get black? Maybe it's just everyone has black, right? Let's go live a little. So I got this red. and I like it. It's pretty cool. It's definitely, I wanted it to stand out and be like, whoa. And sometimes people comment on it, you know, and that's kind of nice. But this seat, it's really slick. Your butt moves around on it a lot. So I don't know if you like that. I do, because sometimes you have to shift your butt over when you're turning, doing really tight, slow speed turns. And I like that. So you may want to be locked in a little bit more with a stickier seat, and then this leather would not be for you, because these Corbins, and that one over there too, are kind of, there's a slickness to them which you may or may not like, but in the long run I like it. All right, I've never had a passenger on this, but I might. That bike over there is for the passenger. Sweet. My headlights work pretty well. The anti-lock brakes seem to come on a lot. They always use the word intrusive, so let's just, not intrusively, not like but you can see it kind of, the pedal will go bub up a little bit, even for nothing that's too major. But I don't mind that. If the K-Act is working or whatever, that's fine with me. I'm not a big, you know, I commute a lot on the highway going about 80 to work, and I do like that security of that anti-lock brakes. I think for looks you might want to get another muffler, but unless you sex it up a little bit with a fancy sticker like that, then you're in business. Well, all right. So, hey, that's about it for my review. I do also love the kind of a little bit of a retro-y feel of these dials. Hey, why don't I turn the thing on and start it up? Duh. You guys came all this way to my channel, and here I am, not even going to start it up for you. Okay. Adjustable windscreen I like, but I would like to go up even higher. Okay, let's hear that motor. Hey, that's about it for my review. I'm going to put another piece on there that talks about other things with the bike, but as for the bike directly, about motorcycle stuff, we'll put on the end here of the video, so you may want to turn it off now. But all right, cool beans, man. Thanks for watching. See you, bye. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to encourage you to that this bike is paid for, and I had a really expensive Harley that, I mean, top of the line, right, brand new. It only had not even 3,000 miles on it, and had it parked in a gated garage, and someone easily took it, and they had no problems taking it. So that was like a $32,000 bike, I think, maybe something like that. I don't know, maybe high 29. But I was making payments on it, and the point of this is just to talk about owning your bike versus making payments. And so when I went to get a bike, I thought, well, I could get 2 used ones. I mean, this is a 2009, 2011, 5,500. I would say 5,000 for this with the fixes. And so 2 fun bikes, which are really quality and I like, that I could just own outright, you know, saved up a little bit. And I was always one to have these awesome bikes that I was making payments on, and even impulsively buying them and trading in for one and then trading another. And I just want to encourage you, if you're in that boat like I was, how nice it is to own a bike outright And if you have to come down and not get, like, this would be nice if this were a 2018 BMW RT or something like that, but I just can't afford that right now. So I own this outright. It's just kind of nice. It's a nice feeling, and it is a nice feeling to have those fancy bikes. But if you're making payments that are really hard on you, and I've been there, you know, whatever. I could tell you to do it all you want, but you're probably like me. You're like, yeah, but it's just a nice feeling. It makes the ride a lot better. And I just wanted to throw that out for you and give you some encouragement to just take a breather before you go into the dealership and get all excited and smell the tires in those dealerships. You get that rubber smell. I always wonder, what's that smell in here that I love in dealerships? It's the tires, and but it's cool. All right. So hi. One last thing, and this is, you know, not a review of a bike. This is just encouraging you to either one of these bikes. I always make sure I get a bike that has the ability to put a passenger on back with a backrest. And so I'll just kind of talk around these two bikes, and which are both paid for, and I own outright, and they're super affordable. But this last part of the video is to encourage you to take a passenger. And and how much, well, it's fun for the rider, right? But the passenger as well. So maybe you have a girlfriend or something like that, or a friend even, that saw your bike and go, oh, they start talking about your bike. And I used to ride a dirt bike when I was a kid. And then you're like, you could see they're hinting at, like, maybe they want to go for a ride. And, you know, take them, because there's been about 5 people I've taken, girlfriends and whatnot, who've never been on a bike. And when they and I think, okay, I'll just take you down the street. We'll go. They're afraid, right? That's fine. So we'll go around the block, and we'll go. You take them around the block, and you say, hey, you want to go get an ice cream? And then you go maybe a mile or two, and they get an ice cream with them. And I swear they get off, and they're like, let's look at the other bike here. They're like, oh my God, that was so much fun. So I had this girlfriend that used to like to go so much that she stopped asking because she thought she was being intrusive. Because that's all we would do. I wanted to, but I just thought she was getting tired of it. But she could have spent all weekend on me driving her around Seattle on a bike. I'll close with this incredible driver experience I gave this one, my girlfriend, when I was living out in Sacramento recently. My girlfriend was living in Vermont, and she lived there for like all her life, never been on vacation when she was like 25, and it was just up to Maine, you know, or something like that. So for the past 15 years, she had been taking care of, sorry, there's a jet going over. She'd been taking care of her mother with Alzheimer's, and it was a hard winter up in Vermont, and she just never, you know, like working her fingers to the bone. And I'm like, look, I'm going to fly you out to Sacramento, and we're going to I had that nice Harley, and I go, I'm going to take you on this Harley, and we'll go for a ride. And it was still like 40 degrees and snowy up there, and it was beautiful in Sacramento, like 75 degrees, 80. She'd never been to California. She comes out, and the second day I put her on the back of the bike, and I take her on this beautiful weekend down into San Francisco, through Napa Valley, over the Golden Gate Bridge, into San Francisco City. You know, cruising around like Nob Hill, the Presidio, Russian Hill, all these cool areas that Chinatown, North Beach, Little Italy, right? And got lunch, stayed there. The next morning, I took her down Pacific Coast Highway into Monterey. And at one point, I looked in the rearview mirror, and I could see her with her arms out, and like doing like a just arms out, like flying in the air, and she just couldn't believe like how amazing it was. And she was like, and I just thought to myself, oh my God, can you imagine someone from Vermont, like these brutal winters, right? This particular one was, and now they're on a back of a bike in a beautiful, suddenly cruising across California on a Harley, and into the one of the most sought after rides. One of them, you know, on everyone's bucket list is to cruise around Northern California on a motorcycle. So it's not often that I provide that kind of level of entertainment to anybody. So I was like, I can't believe, and I told her, "Boy, you for your first motorcycle ride, you're pretty lucky, man. I think you have the best possible scenario, right? Brand new Harley that's super comfortable with a nice seat for you." And boy, it's just a memory that I'll never forget. Anyways, thanks for listening to my little story, and hopefully maybe you'll take someone, not for your sake, but for their sake, on a little ride, and get them hooked. Thank you.